Hi, fellow teachers. Ever feel like you're constantly putting out fires in your classroom? Managing those challenging behaviors can sometimes feel like an uphill battle. But don't worry, you are not alone. Today, we're going to talk about some practical strategies to help you tackle those tricky behaviors and work towards creating and implementing a positive learning environment. I'm April. I'm an upper elementary teacher passionate about creating an effective and engaging classroom environment. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe and click that notification bell so you never miss a tip for your teaching journey. So stick around because you don't want to miss this. All right, so let's jump right in and talk about some of those pain points we all face when dealing with challenging behaviors in the classroom. First, there's that disruption of instruction. So constant interruptions can really derail your entire lesson or activity. So then we think about the issue of time management. Addressing these behaviors often means less time for teaching. Not to mention the emotional toll it can take on us as teachers, leading to frustration and burnout. And of course, the impact on the other students in the classroom. Challenging behaviors can make it hard for everyone to learn and feel safe. So we want to think about how to ensure that consistency and enforcement and how it can be tough, especially with all of the diverse needs in our classrooms. Do these sound familiar? Well, let's tackle these head on. First, we need to identify and understand what are some of those common challenging behaviors. Okay, so let's count. Here are some of these common challenging behaviors that you might encounter in your classroom. Disruptive talking, inattention, daydreaming, defiance or non-compliance, physical aggression, maybe even social isolation. Understanding the root causes, whether it's a child seeking attention, maybe there are unmet needs at home, or having learning difficulties, can help us with addressing these behaviors effectively. It's not going to be a one-size-fits-all method. Working with the other staff in your building is going to be key to part of your success. Thinking about what can you do for those students who are in your classroom at that time. What works for one kid not necessarily going to work for another kid. So we have to think about what are some strategies that we can use. So let's talk about proactive strategies that we can use to try to help prevent some of these issues before they even start. Start by setting clear expectations and consistent routines. Establish and maintain those clear rules and routines from day one. I've addressed this in previous videos, so I highly recommend that you go back and watch those videos as well. Consistency helps the students know what to expect. If you're not consistent, that leads to uneasy feelings. Think about in your own personal life when you have a disruption in your own time. It leads to uneasy feelings. Kids are going to feel that same way in the classroom. You also want to engage your students with interactive lessons. Boredom will often lead to disruption. If they're just sitting there like this, or like this, you're not engaging your students. That doesn't mean they're 100% focused all the time. That's not realistic. But think about how can you create an engaging atmosphere in your classroom. Something I recently learned at a conference were some different activities that you can do while students are solving math problems. Instead of just saying, here, you need to solve these 10 math problems, make it fun and engaging in different ways. It was so simple, but yet so powerful. And so I can't wait to try these ideas in my own classroom to make it more engaging. You also need to build that positive relationship with your students. That is the key to success. When students feel respected and valued, they're more likely to respect you and your rules. And then also think about your classroom layout. Arrange your classroom to minimize those distractions and make it easier to monitor all students. And that may need to change throughout the year. That's okay. I've even had to rearrange in the middle of a lesson before. That's okay too. Let's talk about what's called positive behavioral interventions and supports, or also known as PBIS. PBIS is again another proactive approach that uses positive reinforcement to improve behavior. Here's how you can make it work for you. You want to teach those behavioral expectations. Just like we teach academic content, you want to teach what good behavior looks like, sounds like, use role-playing, discussions, model and practice those behaviors. Then you're going to reinforce that positive behavior. So recognize and reward students when they meet those expectations. This could be through verbal praise, it could be through points, it could be small tangible rewards, whatever classroom reward system you have in place, use it. The third one is you want to think about some data-driven decision making. So use data to monitor behavior and identify patterns and address your strategies as needed. Some students need it more than others, but don't forget about those students who are doing the right thing and need that attention and praise just as much as the students who maybe are on a behavior plan. Also, think about that collaborative approach. Involve parents, your school counselor, your teammates, other staff that are going to help you in supporting and creating that positive classroom environment and positive behavior. A team approach can be very effective. Now, when these challenging behaviors arise, because they're going to arise, handling them with patience and consistency is crucial. So let's talk about some specific strategies of how you can do this. So let's go back to disruptive talking. So using some type of signal or a nonverbal cue to remind students to listen. You can even have a private conversation with those chronic talkers to understand maybe why they're talking and to set some goals. So one of the things I implement in my classroom is called whole body listening. That means your eyes are on the speaker, your ears are listening, your hands are in your lap, mouth is closed, and you are sitting up nice and straight, and you are tracking the speaker wherever they go in the classroom. And that's not just me, that's also their fellow classmates. They should be doing the same thing with them. Again, that takes a lot of practice, and you gotta start it from day one. For that inattention or daydreaming disruption, break larger tasks into smaller parts and use frequent check-ins. Incorporate movement breaks to help students stay focused. So again, at a conference that I was recently at, I started to get a little burnt out on it because they were doing it so much, but I can see where it's very effective because as I'm kind of tuning some things out, they would draw me back in with some movement of clap twice, give me 2 claps and a woo, give me 2 claps and an oh yeah, all kinds of things that you can do to bring those students' attention back to the time and moment that you're focusing on. Now, I feel like this is probably the biggest one, but for that defiance or non-compliance, the first thing that you need to do is stay calm. Avoid a power struggle. And I know that's so much easier said than done. Think about using I statements to express how their behavior is affecting you and the class. Okay, so don't say you are doing this. Say I am concerned, or I feel this way, or I see this happening, because then it gives a little bit more less of pointing the finger. Nobody likes it when they're pointing and saying you. Okay, again, it's not easy and it's frustrating. I completely understand. Offer maybe some choices or something to give them a sense of control. You can even have a safe spot or a calming place in your classroom for them to go take a break as needed. Now, if there's physical aggression, you want to make sure you intervene immediately so no one's going to get hurt. You want to ensure the safety of yourself and the other students in the classroom. Use a calm but firm voice to address the behavior and provide a cool down period before discussing the incident. If a student's already fired up, they're not going to hear anything you have to say. Work with your school counselors, your resource staff, support staff to help you with what you need. For maybe some kind of social isolation, think about how can you create an inclusive environment. Maybe pair up some of those isolated students together with buddies and create opportunities for all students to shine, whether through group projects, classroom jobs, or just showcasing whatever talents that they have. Remember, dealing with challenging behaviors can be tough, but consistency and a positive attitude go a long way. Celebrate the small victories. Don't hesitate to seek support from colleagues or your school counselors. Every student is capable of a positive change, and with the right strategies, you can create a classroom environment where all students can thrive. For more tips and strategies, don't forget to download my free classroom management guide. I'll link that down in the description below. Also, check out the other videos in my classroom management series for more insights, strategies to help you manage your classroom effectively. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a video from me. Thank you so much for joining me today. Share in the comments below what strategies have worked for you, and we can learn and grow together. Until next time, I love this journey for you.